have exciting news. What is it, babe?
We're gonna have a little baby.
Baby number 2. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So, as you just watched, I'm happy to announce that I am pregnant. 11 weeks, 4 days today to be exact. So, yep. Nearing the end of this first trimester, and we are very excited for this announcement.
Yeah.
We just kind of wanted, that's why I'm bringing him. I don't really know what his perspective is on this. We just kind of wanted to share our fertility journey this time, and then just talk about kind of what we're excited about and kind of what I've already experienced this pregnancy, as well as show you guys some of the raw footage of us finding out that I'm pregnant, because I had originally wanted to do like just me finding out and then surprising him. But the month that I got pregnant, I was not expecting to be pregnant. So the video is not perfect. It's so like raw, just real, as you would call not aesthetic, but it's perfect in its own way, because it's what, I don't know, it's like God always has it in ways that you don't expect, and in months that you don't expect.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to jump into the full story and everything, but I think the one thing that like I would say about all of this is you just kind of mentioned like it was not a month we expected you to get pregnant. And I think that's the thing, like we kind of got to this point, because it was December, we kind of got to this point where we were like, things are not going well, this does not seem like it's going to be the month, so if you do get pregnant, this is all by God. And then of course that was the month that you got pregnant. So it really was like, we felt like God was moving and working in it.
So just to give a little of a backstory, we had been trying to conceive for, it was 8 or 9 months. And I know that, you know, when I look back at it at this, like the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't seem like that long, because I know so many couples experience infertility, and actually having infertility and, you know, go years without being able to get pregnant, or they deal with losses, which is just another tough battle that I don't have personal experience for. And so I just can't even imagine what that's like. But
it definitely still was hard.
But it felt so long in the moment, and so I just wanted to come on here and share that, because when we were in this journey of trying to get pregnant, I told Zach, I was like, I don't want to forget like this hardship, and then when I'm pregnant, just be like, oh, everything's fine. Like that wasn't a long wait, when it really felt like such a long wait, and it really was trying on our mental state. And it was really, really difficult.
So. And I think it's good for us to remember the difficult like elements of it, so that we can remember like how God did provide. Like that's, I mean, if you look in scripture, that's a lot of what you see in the Old Testament, is like the people remembering how bad their situation was and God bringing them out of it. And I feel like, no, I'm not comparing those to being slaves in Egypt or anything. Like there's definitely difficulties with it.
So I had Amelia in September of 2021, and then we started to try for another baby in around April of 2022, when she was only about like 6 months. But during that time, that's when we, you know, noticed that Zach had really low energy. You can kind of talk about how you were feeling. Like this was before we started trying to conceive. Because that's what led us.
I remember it was March, because we were doing our anniversary trip, and that was kind of, which stuff had been going on since before that. I basically had just been extremely worn out all the time, was getting agitated more easily.
So
tired, super, super stressed. Which, granted, I was working like 5 jobs.
There was external factors.
Yeah, there was a lot of external factors. But we eventually, like, it was on our honeymoon or our anniversary trip that we were like, okay, we're going to go see a doctor about it.
Yeah, and luckily I work at a OBGYN fertility clinic, and there's a doctor that specializes in hormone replacement. So I was like, let's get you in with Dr. Bauer and see kind of what she has to say.
We got my testosterone levels checked.
And it did provide some answers.
Yeah, definitely did. It was like, so a guy's normal testosterone levels are somewhere between what, 400 and 800 or 600 and 800?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's 600.
Probably normal is like 600.
Yeah. And mine was like 225. So like way, way low. The doctor was like, yeah, this kind of makes sense as to why you're so stressed and tired.
And his estrogen levels were high.
Yeah, that was the other. Well, it wasn't. The ratio was
ratio.
high. Like, because my testosterone was so low, the ratio of how much estrogen
compared to testosterone
was a lot higher than it was supposed to be. She was like, I remember her saying, it's actually the highest I've ever seen. And I'm like, yay, I'm winning.
Yeah, and she was pretty much saying, like, he acts like this because he's having a man period.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is with low testosterone is the medical solution for that is testosterone replacement. And if you guys don't know, you can't get pregnant when you're on artificial testosterone.
Basically makes you infertile.
Yeah. So she was like, you can take Clomid. It's a medication that should raise your testosterone. Take letrozole to decrease the estrogen and try to get pregnant, and then you can get testosterone pellets or, some other exogenous support. And so that's when our journey began.
Yeah. It was a great way to start.
So we started trying probably in like April or May, and I actually had just gotten my period back in May after I started weaning Amelia from breastfeeding. So I started to get I got my period back, and so then we started trying to conceive right when that happened. And with Amelia, it only took 3 months to conceive. So the first couple months that I didn't get pregnant, I was, I didn't think much about it. It's disappointing every time you get a negative test when you're really hoping for it to be positive. But I was like, it took a couple months with Amelia. It probably will be the same this time. And so then when it started to get into like later summer, and I still wasn't pregnant, and all of my other friends were pregnant that were pregnant when I was pregnant with Amelia.
Yeah, that was
It was so hard. Like, literally, I would get a negative test, somebody would tell me they're pregnant every month. And so just having to, like, remain joyful, I was not very good at that. And the month that I actually got pregnant was when I heard a message at church, like, don't let hardships steal your joy. I don't remember, like, the full message, but I was, like, sobbing, and little did I know I was
you're
like,
pregnant at that time.
Yeah, the months went by, and I was like, I work at a fertility clinic, like I said, so I have access to, get scans to see if I'm ovulating, to check my progesterone levels. My progesterone levels are not great, so I did, progesterone support after you ovulate to keep those levels up and maintain a pregnancy or to, conceive and then maintain a pregnancy if you do conceive. And then I started a round of letrozole, which is Femera, and that's an ovulation-inducing med. So we got pregnant at the second round of Femera. Yeah. I don't know if that's what helped. I don't think it is now that I really think about it, because the cycle I got pregnant, I took the Femera of my, cycle day 3 through 7, and it was the lowest dose that you can take. And then you get a follicle scan, which is looking via a pelvic ultrasound to look at your ovaries and see if there's any follicles, which is what the egg release is from, to see if there's any follicles that are growing and will be the follicle that will release the egg. So ideally, you're wanting your follicle to get to about 1.8 to 2 centimeters before it will rupture and release the egg. And so these scans can help you track, you're about to ovulate, time to have sex, pretty much. And so the cycle that I got pregnant, I had fertile mucus. I was thinking I was going to ovulate, but it was earlier than usual. I was doing ovulation tracking kits, and I got the positive ovulation test. This was all over the weekend, and then on Monday I went in, and I was like, let's get a scan. I think I'm about to ovulate or already did. Can we just confirm? And the scan was only 1.6 centimeters.
So not what we wanted.
Yeah, it was not near ovulation. I was like, what the heck? Because why did I already get the ovulation test? Why was that positive? Because usually that's positive, the day before I ovulate. And I knew that if it was 1.6, it probably wouldn't ovulate for a couple more days. So, and I was already I think we were so drained from we just didn't want to have sex again.
Yeah, well, and that was, for me, it was an extremely stressful month too. That I remember that time period, there was just a lot going on. I had a lot of projects at work and just always felt overwhelmed and stressed. And
during the time where it's crucial.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It'd be this is the 3-day period where we have to have sex every day.
And you don't have to every day.
Right, but it's best to. Yeah. Right, and it just...
And you beat yourself up if you don't, and you don't get pregnant. You think, oh, what could I do different? What could I have done different?
That was the worst part of the whole process for me, was feeling every month that we didn't, it was like I was beating myself up. Like,
what could
I have done better? Like, it honestly felt like for a while, like I was trapped in a hole and like didn't know what to do to get out. I was like, when is this gonna end?
Okay, and then back to that week that I got the follicle scan on Monday. So, we didn't have sex that night or whatever. I was like, whatever, so be it. I didn't work on Tuesday, then I worked on Wednesday, and I was like, let's do another scan, see if it's like at 1.8 gonna ovulate soon. And there was a corpus luteum, which means you already ovulated. So the corpus luteum is, after that follicle ruptures, it collapses and turns into a corpus luteum, which produces progesterone. So that indicates that you ovulated. So I was like, what the heck? How did it go from a 1.6 to a corpus luteum in less than 2 days, like less than 48 hours? That just like medically didn't make sense. And so I was just not thinking that I was going to be pregnant. And my progesterone level, I got checked post-peak. This is like so many fertility terms that I don't think people understand. But long story short, that was the cycle. I got pregnant, and I did not expect it because medically, I saw with my own eyes medically what should have been, and it was not. And that happened with Amelia too. Like, I ovulated way late with her and had, like, I don't know.
Yeah, so it was weird. It was not what we expected. Like, to the point of when you took a test, like, that I was sick. Like, so sick. Like, I had slept in the basement for 3 nights because I wasn't sleeping and I was just sitting up all night coughing. So, I remember I came upstairs.
And then you were like, what are you doing? I was like, taking a test. I know it's going to be negative.
No, I was like, what are you doing?
And then I was like, get out of the way. I want to show that it's negative. And I like show it, doing the thumbs down. And I'll play the clip. But...
Yeah, and then you turned it off. And then she starts freaking out. She's like, wait, does this, and I thought she was screwing with me. Like, I thought she was just being mean and messing with me about it. But then, like, you look and there was actually like a little faint line.
Yeah.
So
here's the video of that. I'm almost positive this is negative, so that's why I don't really care what the video looks like. How'd you sleep? I'm taking a test, even though I know it's gonna be negative.
Oh, yeah? Not well.
Wait, no, I
mean, I kind of see it too. Yeah.
No, oh my god,
I definitely see some. My face is in it. My face just touched it.
I don't care. This is the worst possible video. I should have waited.
That's why it's this time. Let me see
Are you
this.
freaking kidding?
I definitely see a line. It's super faint, but I definitely see it.
Oh my gosh, I should have waited.
No, babe, this is perfect.
No, it's really not.
Yes, it is.
I mean, oh my gosh.
I seriously thought you were screwing with me.
I literally, like, have had 0 symptoms. Like, absolutely none. And so I didn't even care. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna get this over with. I was gonna do it, like, today after we got back from the gym. You can see it.
So yeah, I mean, we're extremely excited, very surprised still by it. But
yeah, it just doesn't really feel real yet. We already had the first ultrasound.
Mm-hmm.
That was around 8 weeks, so still like a small baby.
Yeah.
So I'll do another one in a couple weeks because we already know the gender.
We do.
Because we did a sneak peek test, but I don't know why I paid for it, so I don't really trust it.
Exactly.
So I'm going to wait till I can see with my own eyes on the ultrasound.
That doesn't mean she hasn't started buying clothes, though.
This child has a whole wardrobe. And we have ideas for the nursery and everything. So
Yeah.
we haven't bought a name sign or anything, so
Really
that's
hoping
good.
we're
But
right. But we have pretty much decided upon a name.
I'll make separate videos, which I'm excited to, just about, this pregnancy. We'll probably show like the ultrasound in another video, and I can do just a recap of the first trimester. It has been different than Amelia's, but also similar, but definitely, I think, better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been similar, but a little better.
I think it's been way better, and then the last 2 weeks it's been
Rough.
Yeah, like I've reached the peak of sickness. So I'm hoping that I'm about to go down the hill. So that is it for this video. We really hope you guys enjoyed hearing our story, and we just thank you so much for listening and sharing in this excitement with us as we welcome baby number 2. Bye!